Hi, everybody. I'm Ria, and I'm here representing the Google developer groups here at Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. And with us today, we have Namrata from all the way from Pune, literally halfway across the world. Really speaks to how we're able to bring the whole world together when we all have a single purpose. And before we go to our speaker and before we get to know more about her, I would just like to introduce our chapter, what we do, and just like a little bit of like house rules and how this session's going to work. So, welcome to GDG Surrey if you've never been to one of our events before. As far as I've seen, we're like a pretty chill group. We like to teach, we like to learn. And this passion for teaching and learning is really what brought all of us together. These are just two of the many events that we've had. We have a lot of in person events here in Vancouver, and we have way more online events just to make sure that these events and these resources are available to more people. Here at GDG Surrey, we believe in learning and providing opportunities to everybody. So that is just our basic virtues and values. And that is the reason why we have these virtual sessions to be able to connect to professionals all over the world. This is our team. We have our organizer, Preeti, who is the Google Developer Group organizer. I myself am one of the core team members and organizer, and everybody you see here is part of the core team of GDG Surrey. And this last picture, oh, I'm wearing the same shirt. That's from our DevFest, which recently took place here in Vancouver. All right. And now I have the honor of introducing our speaker for the day. Let me just give me a minute. Wait. Namrata is a passionate product enthusiast at Razorpay with a deep interest in solving and innovating for the payment ecosystem. Her expertise lies in crafting user centric payment solutions that are both innovative and secure. She is an organizer and an ambassador at the Google Developer Groups and Women Tech Makers Pune, fostering a vibrant developer community by organizing workshops and meetups, as well as empowering women in tech by actively contributing to creating a more inclusive and collaborative tech space. She regularly shapes her knowledge and experience by writing and speaking at industry events, inspiring aspiring developers and product enthusiasts. Let's all give a virtual round of applause to our speaker here. And over to you, Namrata. I think I would love for you to introduce the topic for today and your reason for speaking on the topic.
Oh, sure, sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. I think it's very similar for me to, literally cross borders. And a virtual event, when we were really talking about it, is morning for me. It's almost night for you all. So, yeah, sort of really excited to, share my knowledge across the borders. In fact, the good part that I see here is when I was preparing for the presentation for this, I was actually going through. I mean, we usually in our industry go through a lot of cross border techniques, but here I was literally trying to understand whatever I'm talking of. Is it really in context with the place that I'm talking in? So even in such occasions, I get to learn even more than what I really do in my regular work research, because here you're talking with someone who is the audience is sitting there and listening to me, right? So I should be relevant to that place, relevant to that audience, and it teaches me a lot when I'm speaking to a completely different audience. So yeah, I mean it's sort of give and take for me. When I give a session, I think I learn more than regular. So yeah, it's a great opportunity, and obviously to meet you all.
Thank you, Namrata. I think a few house rules is there is a Q&A option for you all. We would highly recommend leaving your questions in the Q&A area. And once Namrata is done with her presentation, we will go on to the Q&A, and we have quite some time dedicated for questions and answers. So we will get to all your questions. Let's try to let the expert deliver their experience to us. All right, Namrata, over to you. I'll stop sharing my screen, and hopefully you should be
Yeah.
able to do.
Yeah, I'm able to share. Let me know
All
once
right,
it's visible to
wonderful.
you.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Good.
I think the first part introduction is already done. Thanks to Ria. Yeah, so I've recently become a GDE, Google Developer Expert in Payments, and just trying to share whatever knowledge I have. I mean, I won't really say an industry expert as such, but whatever I know of and whatever I'm trying to share across, that is something I'm great at. So yeah, that's it, that's all about it. And like I said, I am into payments. With that, cloud AI is something which is there in this industry for like a long time. And before we start, first let's go and understand what is something between cloud AI and payments that we already know, right? Anyone anytime would can feel free to put something in chat and want to have a discussion on, if that works, right, Ria? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it's totally up to you.
Okay, okay. So I think two major things: authentication and authorization, that I want to talk about. I think most of us know this. Authentication and authorization. The major difference is authentication is when I say a user access. I mean, when I say a user is authenticated for a particular profile. We can take an example of say some sort of a lounge access. My lounge access, the authentication is done when I'm going to the lounge for the access and trying to validate me myself on the card. So usually they do not allow someone else's card to be used, right? So that is where, and they match it with your boarding pass or something. Some sort of identity proof. So that is where they're doing a user authentication. They're trying to understand if the profile is correct. And authentication is when they look at your, I mean, they scan your card and see if it is authorized to be used in that particular lounge. So authentication is the user check, the user profile check, and authorization is the profile access check. So these two concepts are very basic for anything with respect to payments, cloud, and AI. This is just a reference to what we'll look at ahead. So yeah, going ahead, what's payment usually for us? What's payments for us? For anyone who's say not in fintech or payments industry, what's payment for us? I think yeah, very much like my wallet on a payday and my wallet on any other day. But supposingly, the second image that I see the wallet on the day after the empty wallet is something we see in a usual day right now, and there are reasons to it, because we do a lot of online payment, we do a lot of payments that are not with very much with the cash system overall, right? So why is it that we do not have a lot of cash used now? That's because that's because we have a lot of online payments looked at it, right? And before we go into it, let's look at a story. I mean, let's look at all of this from a storyline perspective. And this will be completely related to you if, one, you're lazy, just like me. I'm really lazy at things. You have amazing people around you who help you in a lot of things, but still you're not much irresponsible, yet you're lazy. So this story is very relative to me. And yeah, this will be related to you if you have certain parameters among these. So there's this homo sapien called as nm. Okay, let's just call this homo sapien as nm and look at it from her perspective. So now it's some sort of a festive time. What do we do in festive times? We enjoy, we have a lot of fun, or rather we just rest, we sleep. And out of nowhere, we've just asked to do some work by say someone from your house. Say my mother has given me some work to do, and now there's a huge burden on me because I'm not able to celebrate or just sleep and have rest. All right. So what would I do? Would I walk down to do some work? She's just asked me to say get some vegetables. Walk down? No. Why not? Because yeah, she's lazy. Now what are the options with her? Let's see. One is she can shop online, or the second is she can ask her Gen Z sister to go and get it. All right. Just let me know if this is quite relative to you. This really gives me a great feedback to work upon. So what is the most nicer way to go for it? Ask her sister to go and get it. Yeah, of course. A lot relative to someone who's an elder sibling, I guess. Now, when you ask her to go and get it, what are the other two options? Yeah, this is a Gen Z sister. So, what are the two options that are left with her sister? Either give my phone to her, either give her NM's phone to her sister, or which she's obviously not giving, or the second part is giving access to her iPhone. Now, yeah, of course, she's Gen Z, so yeah, she has an iPhone right now. Obviously, she'll go with the other part. Now we'll just look how she can give access to her sister from her iPhone directly. And with this, I mean, to go to this perspective, let's look at a few questions and go ahead. How many of us have used debit or credit cards? A lot of us on multiple devices. Have you tried using debit cards on multiple devices? Yes. I mean, we all do, right? We use a lot of, say, for example, Amazon. Amazon, we have different cards added, and all of us, even if we share that on different devices, say on a laptop, on a mobile, you're able to see all of your credit and debit cards on multiple devices. That's correct. But on the other hand, have you tried to use UPI? So UPI is a very lame in layman language. UPI is a very small tool which is used to just scan your QR and pay. So in India, there's this new concept called UPI, wherein if you have a QR at a shopkeeper or any place, you can just scan it across on your phone, and just like any click and pay, you can just click on it and pay with the UPI scanner, and you don't have to do a lot of you don't have to basically physically carry any card or any cash along with you, which is quite easy and convenient way to do anything. So now, first of all, the people who've been using UPI till date have so by the data that we have right now, we have saved approximately 2 to 2 rupees, which is very calculative. And let's not go into calculations right now because it's quite funny to look at it. But since UPI has been used in at least in India and across Asia for a few years, say 4 or 5 years, we've just done a bit of calculation here. So yeah, back to the question: how many of us have used UPI on multiple devices? We're not really able to do right now because there are certain problems that we have. We'll just look at it how. So there's this concept called tokenization. And there are two types of tokenization. We look at how it's with respect to the UPI and the card system. So UPI is device tokenization. Once I register a particular device for my UPI ID, I am not able to use that UPI ID on any other mobile phone which has another mobile number, because it is a one-to-one connection. That is a device tokenization. Whereas for cards, it is file tokenization, which is server side, and all of your data, all of your card details are saved on a server on a cloud, which is why you are able to use it on multiple devices. I mean, even if another user authorizes it from another user access, even he should be able to see your card details. Just like in Amazon, three or four profiles, or in yeah, three or four profiles are able to see the same card details, even if it's not in the same device, because it is on cloud and you can access it with your access authorization, while it is not the same for UPI. So now back to the question. Let's just ask. We if we are able to give her access. A problem statement that was that NM wanted to give access to her sister to use it on her iPhone. Now, is that problem solved here? No, because on UPI, only a single device can be registered and not multiple. So, can UPI go on cloud? Yeah, there's this new concept called UPI circle. Let's look at what's UPI circle. So basically what it does is, like we all say, we have an inner circle which we trust a lot, and with this trust, this new feature is built, a UPI circle, which gives you a capacity to add a few people around you, which you can say is your circle, and you can give access to them like a wallet, and they can use your card details or your UPI details to pay on that their perspective. Let's look at this small video to see how this works.
Trust is one of the most important factors in any relationship. And
Is this audible to you?
Yep.
Okay.
UPI Circle lets you delegate payments to the people you trust the most. Your inner circle. It can be done in two ways, partial and full. The primary account holder creates a circle of their trusted contacts on the UPI app, according to the category of delegation chosen. Partial delegation allows the members of the circle to request for payment by scanning a QR code, which needs to be authorized by the primary account holder. It is best for senior citizens not comfortable with technology, students away from home who need money for certain transactions, and employees who need petty cash for office expenses. Here, the primary account holder will be in control of each payment and approve every transaction. On the other hand, full delegation lets the members of the circle have more liberty around payments. The primary holder sets an amount that is delegated and maintains records of all transactions. From setting aside a certain amount each month for household expenses, giving a certain amount for food expenses to an employee team, or even giving allowances to family members. It has multiple applications and use cases. Full delegation allows payments without having to wait for approval per transaction. By delegating payments to your inner circle and showing them your trust, UPI Circle even enables us to strengthen our relationships and bonds with our people.
Yeah, so that's it about the UPI circle. This basically helps you create a inner circle and share with them accesses, which can help them use it like a wallet, very similar to a wallet, wherein you will just give them an access and they can pay on your behalf. So with this,
Trust.
yeah, woohoo, our first problem is solved. You can ask your Gen Z sister, she can ask her Gen Z sister and get it. But now what if she doesn't have her, or what if for some single children who do not really have that option, yeah, right, to irritate their siblings. So now here the other option is to shop online. Yeah, something we all do really love a lot. Say Amazon, Flipkart, Swiggy, Instamart, anything that you want to. What are the usual payment methods that we use for this? Cards, wallet, net banking, UPI for that matter sometimes. Uh, so now here, what are the different level of cards that we use? Debit, credit, and prepaid cards. Anyone who would like to put in chat if they've used UPI at least once? Okay, okay. Maybe I'll try to go to basics going ahead on UPI as well. So when we look at cards, okay, the usual preferred card that we have is a credit card. As far as it's not for students, it's usually a credit card. The reason is you're able to use your credit, and the duration that you're able to use extra can help you a lot. With that, there are a lot of offers that we usually have, right? That is why we usually prefer to use a card. So now, can UPI be used with a credit card? The good part with UPI is you can do small little transactions conveniently, wherein you don't even have to carry your card, and you can just link your card here with a rupee credit card, and anyone who's even paying cross borders or internationally can try applying this. I'm not sure what all locations rupee credit card is right now available, but yeah, I can surely share some more information about it. And with that, yeah, we're able to shop again online as well. Now our homo sapien has to meet her friends because she's out there for celebration, right? What would she do? She'll just go shop. She'll go to have some random food outside, and she'll probably scan and pay using a lot of other methods. What if her server is down right now? I mean, the bank that she's paying, that she's trying to pay from, that bank server is down. What if that? And that usually happens with us, right? While using a card or while paying online, it usually occurs that there's some payment errors. And how do you solve that? UPI Lite. So whoever is trying to use UPI, there's this new feature. Even on Google Pay, this is available. UPI Lite, wherein the difference between both of these is, technically, like I said, we'll go a bit deep down into how UPI works. Is we have applications like when so there's a sender, there's a receiver. The mobile phone that you can see here, this is the application that you use, say Google Pay, something like Google Pay, Paytm, Phone Pay, and this is your bank, the sender's bank. This is the receiver's application, the Google Pay, Phone Pay application, and this is the receiver's bank. So what happens is the sender on your application. So, for example, you're trying to pay from Google Pay, then there's a request is sent to the system. When it for UPI, the system is NPCI, and the system takes it to your bank and asks a request. If your bank server is up, then it again goes to your system, and your system now checks the receiver's bank. If the receiver's bank is compatible to receive the particular money, and also the access authentication and authorization, if the receiver's details are correct. Now this, once this is correct, then it again goes back to the system. The system transfers this money and sends a notification to the receiver's application, that is Phone Pay, Google Pay, wherein the receiver receives a notification saying the money is received or not received, depending on the errors or the bank compatibility. Now, the difference between UPI and UPI Lite is that UPI Lite has this wallet kind of a feature. So if you see here, the sender has a very, I mean, if the sender's application has a small wallet linked to it. Now this wallet, what it does is, it helps you dealing from your bank as such. What happens is, you keep all of your money added to this wallet already. It works very similar to a Paytm wallet or a Apple wallet, and all of your money is already in this wallet. There's certain amount, there's some maximum amount, like for example, you keep 2000 bucks already added to this wallet, and from here you can directly pay to anyone, scanning a QR code or however, or even adding the bank details, etc., like a normal net banking or online payment. So here again, the usual process remains the same. It's just that you in UPI, the system was asking for a request to your bank if the bank server is up. Here it doesn't matter, because your money is already in your wallet. So from your wallet, the money directly goes to the system. It just checks the compatibility of the receiver's bank, and once that is up, it'll from your wallet, it'll directly transfer to the receiver's bank details, and a notification will be sent to the receiver. In this case, the good part is, even if your bank server is down, because it's a wallet, it does not affect, and it'll directly send it to the receiver. The good part that it's improving right now is, which is currently I think in a beta mode, is that even that in upcoming modes, even if the receiver's bank is down, even then there'll be a notification sent to the receiver that the money is sent, because it will be deducted from your wallet and it will be sitting at the system's end. System has a nodal account on which it sits, and once every all the servers are up, at that time the receiver's bank will get the money, and the final notification will be sent to the receiver that your money is transferred. So even if the money is not transferred, the receiver will still get a notification that the payment is done. And once the bank server is up, then it will be sent online, which is a very good part, because here you or the receiver both are not dependent on your servers, on your bank servers. So that's the difference, and that is how the UPI system overall is trying to work upon itself and get better. Okay, so countries other than India that are currently accepting UPI payments are these. So anyone from any country, if you're trying to pay to any of these countries from UPI, you should be able to pay. So it's basically like if your receiver's account is in any of these countries, then you should be able to complete a UPI transaction. And obviously with this, this is currently growing, with every day, every month we are trying to align a lot of new countries to get on UPI, because this is very convenient and this is the instant payment method. So yeah, moving ahead, in our story, of course, after a lot of party that we did, now NM wants to go home, and she looks at a surprise that her sister is there looking for her, because she had helped her, right, in shopping, in going down and getting things for her, the favor that she has to return. Yeah, now she wants a lot of things instead of the favor. Now what can she do? She can use some engineering techniques that she knows. And how? By using a lot of technology. Let's see how and what all technology she knows. There's a CVV-less flow. Any of you use CVV-less flow right now? I think this is available in a lot of our known platforms. Like for example, we can see Amazon. On Amazon right now, you do not really have to add your CVV completely, and without a CVV, even if you, I mean, you can try it out in a lot of other platforms as well. Even if the CVV field on the front end is mandatory, even then, if you can just add 123 or any other random 3-digit number, it should work, because right now a lot of platforms have enabled this CVV less flow, and a lot of networks have enabled this. That's why even if you add a random CVV, the transaction should work. And how is this helping our in our story is for her sister to order online without bothering NM, actually, right? She can just randomly put, I mean, since this is about cards, and she already uses her sister's card, for example, then on the platform, since it is every all the details are on the server and not device specific, it can directly be used because of cloud. Another example is one card. So one card, so in also in CVV Let's Flow, there's one little thing that you have to do is add OTP and complete the payment. Even that particular step, if you want to miss, if you want to basically skip, because we have a lot of lazy people like NM, then there's this swipe to pay. Now, for example, my card details are with someone. NM's card details are with her sister, and she's trying to pay online somewhere, and they were not together in the same place. Then she can just send a request to her sister to swipe and pay. You don't have to exchange OTPs here to pay, because yeah, that's what one card has started on. So anyone who's trying to pay on someone else's behalf, then using those card details, that particular person will receive a notification, and that person can just swipe and pay instead of OTP. Of course, while using this app, to open this app, there is a user authentication and authorization done with some pin or say face ID or some authorization. But yeah, with that, you should be able to swipe and pay without sharing an OTP as such. There's another coordination done between Mastercard and Razorpay right now, which is helping you use 2FA with Face IDs. So previously, there were 2FAs, two-factor authentication using OTPs or pins, but right now, since we are going to a user level, a device-specific authentication and authorization, even 2FAs can be done using Face IDs, which is even easier without doing a lot of effort. And yeah, of course, contactless cards. So you would have seen in a lot of public transport, you can just, instead of buying a ticket or instead of buying a metro card or some specific cards for a public transport, now we can also just tap and pay on the systems in a public transport and use the cards. Again, this is one of the very example of cloud. All the details are on cloud, and that is why we're able to use our cards directly on any of the public transports. And yeah, of course, now her sister can also tap NM's card and travel around just because she has taken this favor, right? Let's look at a few developer centric optimizations that can be done for such betterments. One is leveraging caching. So here we've seen in a lot of such payments, especially for cards, whenever we log into any website and add our card details. Previously, there used to be a technique called a cache, where they used to ask us if you want to save these card details in cache. Right now, with this particular part is improved by tokenization. If you see any platform that you add in your card details on, asks you to save a card. Have you ever tried to not check that box and go ahead? You would not be able to do that because tokenization is mandatory now, and every card detail that you add has to be saved, which helps you going ahead, you know uh, save saving those cards in a tokenized form, and not the exact card details with that particular platform. Again, next is optimizing payment button placement, some UX additions, validate inputs in real time. We'll just see an example for this going ahead. Minimize form details. Of course, when we look at a lot of form details, the usual user behavior is not filling up the form, which basically decreases the interaction. Implement autofill, again with something like leveraging caching itself, very similar to that. And improved error messaging. Again, error messaging is something which is very essential, especially in any financial domain, because there's a lot of time and monetary investment which can be reduced with improved error messaging. Let's look at the first thing, leverage caching, like we just saw an example. And okay, so now, as NM is getting an OTT subscription for her sister, let's say she's trying to use any of these payment aggregators. And since NM has just learnt about this new RuPay UPI card, which is helping her use credit on UPI, she's trying to use that, and she's worried as she's forgot her pin. So yeah, of course, the first thing is, after you forget some pin or a password, what you do is a lot of drama, and post that she'll just go back using her Apple passwords or her Android Google Wallet, and use these tools to get her passwords and pins logged in. So these two tools can obviously be used to get back any password or to save any passwords here, so you don't have to remember or save like contacts like we used to do previously. These two tools can be used, which now, yeah, she's using. And of course, all of these details are on cloud. That is why you're able to access. So if you have an Apple ecosystem or if you have a Pixel ecosystem, you can use your passwords on multiple devices using a single ID, right? And that's again because all of that is saved on a cloud. And yeah, of course, after all of the drama, and I'm filling all of her card details. What if a card gives an error? What sort of errors do we usually get in a payment transaction? Let's look at validate inputs. How? So she entered her card details, and at the end, as we know, she was trying to get a OTT subscription. That was a recurring payment, right? OTT subscription would be the monthly or a quarterly payment. And the card says the card does not support recurring payments. But it's not after she went ahead, said pay now, and added her OTP, and after that the transaction failed, and then you get a message saying your the card does not support the recurring payments. It's not that, because it wastes a lot of time and effort. Whereas here, the input is validated at the very end and checked that the card is not supporting. Also, the error messages here are corrected. So these are some developer centric things that can be done. So this is just a recipe page, but these can also be done on respective applications or websites. So yeah, improved error messaging. We saw two specific optimizations. Post which we can see, after spending a lot of time and effort on everyone, NM of course deserves to spend a lot on herself, right? And a few moments later, here is what she does. It's an happy ending after all. She's spending on herself, using all the techniques that she knows right now, like say CVV less payments and a lot of other things. And yeah, that's a happy ending. So, uh, with that, I would also like to share that we have these GDE program, Road to GDE, as a new concept, wherein we are trying to get a lot of other people who are trying to stick to a certain technology and be an expert. Even if you feel you have the potential to talk about something online, or talk about a certain topic and share your knowledge with even a few people, and a new concept can be unblocked there, then yeah, here is what there are opportunities by Google, and we want to spread it around. Being a GD, I really recommend anyone to apply, at least try applying with a particular technology, and if it's not working for you, that's still fine. I think that will somehow help you someday to get at a very better level, because like I just mentioned before this talk, uh, even if you do not have a particular knowledge about a particular domain completely, whatever knowledge you have, sharing it or researching it while you're sharing it gives you even more research points, even more capacity to deliver it in front of an audience. So yeah, for sure, you can use this QR to apply to the road to GD program, and yeah, try and be a GD. So yeah, that's it. That's my time for today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Namrata. What a beautiful presentation, really. I like your storytelling. I just love the way you talk. I can clearly see in your PowerPoints that that is the way you think. Just the way you do the infographics, I
Alright.
really can see. And I cannot advise people more than to bring storytelling into their presentations rather than just throwing terms at people, like really relate to the story.
That's great. That's great. If that, yeah, if at all that was helpful, then yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
thank you so much. I think we can open the floor to Q&A. And Namrita, I think thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing. We can stop sharing the presentation. We
Sure. Yeah.
can open the floor for Q&A. Uh, do we have any questions from the audience? And I'm wondering, can all the participants please turn on their cameras? We also want to finally take a picture in the end. So, does anybody have any questions regarding? Right.
Yeah. I think
We
there's
have
one
somebody
question
asking
I can
about a
see.
GDE application. They're a third year student. Um,
Uh, okay,
electronic.
okay. Yeah, so usually it's advised to look at a GD program once you have some experience. It can either be an internship or work with some industry somehow. So it's not necessary that you don't have to be a student. It's fine if you're a student, but get some knowledge of it from an industry point of view. The reason is when you go to a platform and speak about it, I think when you yourself are working around something professionally on an industry point of view, it gives you that backup to speak of it, right? I mean, if you're a student, I think your audience can always be only students, because an industry expert will not really listen to a student even if you have a lot of knowledge about it. So keep some backup saying, even if I'm a student, I have this internship wherein I've worked practically with this industry, and that is how you can go ahead.
Hi, participants, are you able to turn on your cameras or unmute yourself? Because you can even ask your questions that way.
Yeah, I think you can directly ask as well,
Yeah.
not really chat.
Um,
Um, I hope I answered your question.
GD, I don't think it's an
Uh,
exam, right? It's kind of an
no,
assessment
it's not an
format.
exam. I'll tell you the usual process. So it's usually applied with in coordination with the nearest Google developer group or any other GD Google club that you have. There are TensorFlow clubs, there are cloud clubs. So any of those clubs can help you go to the application level. And using this the QR code that I sent, maybe I'll just send that the URL again,
On
so
the,
you can
yeah,
apply
I can
via
share
that.
that as well.
Yeah. So, using that link, you can just try and apply over there. There'll be an application form that will be open, and post the form. Then the Google team will reach out to you, checking off what all contributions you've made. Two things that they look at it from a good point of view is, one is your content in terms of writing, in terms of speaking, even if you have YouTube videos, any of such content. Second is your stage appearance. So this is virtual, right? So this the talk that I'm giving right now, this will be considered in online content, and there'll be offline content as well, like in person. If you're trying to mentor anyone, you give workshops, you have hands-on sessions, any of those will be considered as in-person content. So these two things are considered a lot. And once you have both of these, at least for a consistency of say 6 to 7 months, then you can try and applying for a JD. So that's the usual thing that they look for. But yeah, even if you don't have those things, you can try and fill this form. So the data is with the community folks, so they'll try and reach out to you as much as possible. And then of course, yeah, going ahead, there'll be two interview rounds. One is, so for example, you are trying to go for an Android or say cloud GD. Then one of the cloud and Android GD that is present right now will take your first interview, and the second interview will be taken by some of the Googlers. So there are usually two rounds. Post that, you will get the yes or no for the GD application. So there's no exam as such. There are interviews.
And I think we had one last question. I have a question regarding the error message feature. When card details are entered, does the platform leverage open banking to allow to open banking to check if the card allows recurring payment or not?
Yes. So what happens is, your network, like for example, let's take an example of Mastercard. If I have a Mastercard card that I'm using, and on some platform, let's consider Amazon. So when I enter my details on Amazon, at that time, my network details are with the system. So whichever online platform Amazon is trying to like, say for example, let's take a use case. uh, Why not Amazon is because Amazon has its own checkout page. So it's with Amazon whether to fetch those details at the input level or once I go to the pay now page. So if it's a startup and it's just trying to fetch the card details at the checkout page, at that time, when you enter the card details, every card, so card details has 16 digits, right? 16 or 14 digits. There are different level of cards. So let's consider a 16-digit card. The first four digit has something. The first four digit give you the network. The second, then the fifth to eight digit gives you something. Every four digit give you some data. With this data, you are able to get the access levels, wherein you understand if this particular network, if this particular user has the access to pay for recurring, the example that we saw in the slide. So the the engineer who is trying to create the page, the checkout page, they have all of the details. Now whether to show those details on a user centric page on the UI that we see or not is completely with the application that you're using. Amazon right now doesn't give you. So Amazon, if I'm trying to just add my details, Amazon doesn't give me a prompt saying if this card is allowed or not, because it is not fetching that information itself. If you go to a Razorpay page, Razorpay gives you, that the screenshot that I've attached was Razorpay, it gives you. So the engineer has all of the details. It's all with the company who creates the checkout page, if they want to show that detail on user page or not. But yeah, for your question, it does give you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
hope I
Namrata.
answered
I
that.
think.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions, everybody? If not, I think you're not able to turn your cameras on, so I'll make everybody a presenter, and now hopefully you should be able to turn your cameras on.
Maybe.
Um, and if possible, and if you're able to, please turn it on so that we can take a group picture before we end the session. And I think I'll stop recording as well.